back to For the Love of Paper and Ink with Candia. Today is day 7 of the prompts for Junk Journal January, which is stitched. And I'm going to use this blank page because I want to collage a bunch of sheets that just scraps I have on the page, and then do faux stitching with stamps on the page and kind of make it a patchwork quilt, a collagey type of a spread. So I pick out this text scrap and I ink it up. And then I decide I want to use another piece of that same scrap paper on the bottom corner as well, kind of opposite sides of the page to mirror each other on the opposite sides of the page. Then I'm just digging through my scraps to see what I like, what I don't like, and just setting aside what I don't want and deciding on what I do want. I have a lot of printable scraps that I'm using here. Some of them are from different creators. I'm not sure who because I've printed out and just had leftover little scraps, so I'm not sure which creators I got them from. And some of them are ones that I created. And but I just love the mix of all the flowers and the scripts and the colors. And this is a magazine page out of a plant magazine, old plant magazine catalog that I liked the pinks and reds with the printables. And I'm just gathering together the different pieces, figuring out where I want to lay them out, how I want them to look on the page, and deciding what to add, what not to add. I decided a little pop of blue will tie in with the bluish green that's in the little flower picture there at the bottom. So I add that little strip, and then I have this textured, pasted book page that I want to add to the page as well. And I decided this is what I liked. So I'm going to scoot it all off and try and glue it all on the same way I had it laid out. Comes out slightly different, but slightly the same. And I have to make some adjustments as I go because I glue things down and realize that I wanted something underneath that particular piece I'm putting down right now. So I have to pull it up a little bit. But that's okay. It's all a work in progress. And then I need to clip out a little piece for the binding there. And then I get them all glued down. And as I'm gluing them down, I'm just thinking about how I like the colors. And I aged all the edges because I like the edges to kind of stand out from one another. Here's another spot where I realized I needed to pick up the piece of paper I had already glued down to put the piece underneath. And I hadn't inked this paper earlier, so I wanted to get it inked up before I glued it down. But again, as I'm gluing everything down, I'm just thinking about how I like the things I like together, how I want the composition to be, the colors. I want them all to complement each other, but I don't want it to be matchy-matchy. So we have a few different colors of things in there that all look nice together and very florally and hodgepodgey, I guess. Or I was kind of thinking of like a quilt where you'd have, since the theme was stitches, how on a quilt you'd have like a stitches holding everything together. And that's what I kind of in my head was thinking when I was planning out this page, is that I would add stitches, faux stitches with stamps on the edges of each thing like they were stitched onto the page as a quilt would be. Then I just liked this bee and the little bit of blue that was on the page left over there. And now I'm going to add my stitches. So this Bow Bunny Stitches stamp has several different types of stitches. So I'm going to add all of them to my page because I like doing different types of stitching as a on my junk journal page when I actually run stitches through my sewing machine. So I thought I would mimic that with the stamps and do different types of stitching just to give it that love junky creative look that I love so much when I'm actually hand stitching or sewing machine stitching with different stitches. And I love how we all have different interpretations of the prompts and how everyone has such beautiful creativity that the prompts can bring out in them. And I've really been enjoying watching everybody else's interpretations of the prompts and what they're doing in their Junk Journal January journals. And I watch them after I create mine so that I keep my own vision in my head and then I see what others are doing. And I lay down a piece of paper here to get the stamp just on the corner of the paper where I wanted it, but not where I didn't want it. And so this zigzag stamp is just going on the edges in some spots. And then I have one last stamp to do here that's like a edging stamp. So again, I lay down my paper because I just want it a little bit on the edge there to look like I just kind of connected the edges of the papers. And that I decide is my spread for the day. And I'm going to add the number 7 to this because again, I did not do this one in order of papers. I kind of went till I found a blank page. So I'm doing the number 7 for the day 7 spread. And then I'm going to stamp my date on here. 1/7/24. We're already 7 days into January. And then my spread is done. I had a lot of fun creating and collaging this spread. I hope you have been too. Join me again tomorrow for Junk Journal January number 8.